This is going to be a quick video tutorial to show you the different joining operations that you can do with shapes or objects in Affinity Designer. You notice here I have two shapes, and I can select both shapes either over here in the layers panel, or I can just select them by clicking on them, by shift clicking. And when we do that, let's go back up here. Notice these are grayed out, but when I click them both and select them both, they light up. So the first operation we have here is the add operation. The add operation creates a new shape out of these two shapes. It creates a brand new shape. Watch this. You'll notice we now have one layer. That's one new shape. You move it around, it's all one new shape. Now, if you wanted to work on the individual parts of the shape, you have to do it this way. So let me Control Z out of this. And what you would do is you would hold Alt. First you select your objects, obviously. Then you hold Alt. And then you click on the Add. And you'll notice here it grouped them. So now you can work on them individually. You can turn them off, turn them on. And it also gives you one other option. If you look over here on this little thing right here, it gives you all your operations here, so you can just kind of scroll over them to see what it will do. So that's only available if you first select Alt or Option on a Mac and group them. Okay, so let me Control Z out of this. All right, our next operation we want to look at is going to be to subtract. And we notice what it did is it subtracted the top object. And it's the top object from the layers panel, not necessarily the top object what you're looking at. You'll notice here that our red wheel is the top object. So when we select them both and we hit subtract, it removed that red wheel. I'll go back. If I were to remove this red wheel underneath and then select them both, then we'll notice that the red wheel remains and the blue bar is gone, because the blue bar was the top layer. So keep that in mind, that it's going to remove, on subtract, it's going to remove the top object, but it's going to be the top object in your layers panel, not necessarily what you see on your screen. Another thing to keep in mind is that it's going to retain the color, whatever operation. Let's go back here and do the join, or add, make one thing. Notice it kept the color from the bottom object. If you look at my layers panel, the bottom object's red. And if I were to move this down below and select them both again and do the same thing, is now blue. It's because the bottom object was blue. So keep that in mind too. And of course, if we go to subtract, it removes the top layer shape from the bottom layer shape. So we have the top layer shape is the red wheel, and it got removed. So I'm doing this so to point out the importance of knowing what's considered top and bottom is going to be, it's going to be from your layers panel, not necessarily what you see on the screen. Intersect is going to create a new object out of the intersection part of this. And it's going to keep the color of the bottom object. Watch this. The bottom object here is blue, right? So there's our new shape. Again, all of these can be done by clicking Alt if you want to group them. And of course, you can go back here and scroll and see what it's going to do. So just keep in mind that the bottom object is the color it's going to keep on the intersection. Now on the XOR, and I have no idea what that stands for, but what it does, it merges the object and removes the intersected part or makes it transparent. So let's look at that. And you'll notice here the intersected part has been removed, and this is now all one shape. Again, you can use Alt and combine them into a group and work on the parts individually. And for the last one, we're going to go with divide. And divide just splits the object up into different parts, and the intersecting area retains the color of the top layer. Our top layer, even though it's on the bottom here, is red, right? So let's look at this. And we'll notice here that we can turn off individual part. We can turn them all off, or we can turn off individual parts. And that's really all there is to these various operations that you see up here that will light up when you have a shape or an object to work with. If this has helped you, how about leaving a like, subscribe, leave a comment. You have a good day.